Well, today is day 283 in our journey through the Word, and we start another week. But as we do, I want to go back and look at yesterday's reading. It's just words of promise and encouragement to us in a situation that happened that hasn't happened up to this point in our reading since we've begun that of the New Testament. Having some allergy problems this morning, so forgive me with that. I'm reminded in the middle of our storms, Jesus is always there. He's waiting for us to invite us into the boat with us. He's waiting for us to invite him into the situation. And he promises, and we see this in Mark 6, verse 50, the last part of that. Where he says, don't be afraid. A word straight from the mouth of Jesus, straight from the mouth of God. Don't be afraid. Take care. I am here. And words of hope and encouragement to us as we face life's storms that God promises, don't be afraid. Take care. I am here. And we see today in Sunday's reading for the very first time that the disciples bowed down and worshiped Jesus. Now when he healed somebody else, he raised somebody else from the dead, he fed the 5,000, that was taking care of others, but now Jesus has saved them. Saved them in the middle of their storm. And they now bow down and worship him. When it impacts us, that is when we are more likely. Sadly, it shouldn't be that way. When we see others healed, when we see miracles that God just blesses others, we should stop and worship him for that as well. But sadly, we don't do that as we should. But today, the first time we see the disciples bow down and worship him. And then we get to, and I'm sorry, that was yesterday's reading. Then we get to today's reading, where we get stuck on tradition, and we hear these today, and a little friend of mine that I visit with, and we talk about the traditions of the church, and we get so stuck on tradition sometimes that we lose the focus that the tradition is what we need to be doing. Yeah, how many times that we get so stuck on the traditions of the holidays or our family tradition. I looked up the word traditions, and it means the transmission of customs or beliefs from generation to generation. A long established custom or belief. We have them in our families, but we also have them in our churches and our worship, and we get so stuck on traditions that we think that that's what God requires. The Pharisees we see today, where they say, why do your disciples disobey our age-old traditions? For they ignore our traditions. They're more concerned about their traditions than they were about serving and pleasing God. And we can't be that in our lives today. We can't be so focused on that we don't worship God. And we don't please God in our worship because we're so stuck on tradition, that transmission of customs or beliefs from generation to generation. Have our traditions become more important than worshiping God? Some great reading through the weekend. Again, God's promise to us. Don't be afraid. I take care. I am here. And a reminder in today's reading, don't get so stuck on our traditions that our traditions become more important than worshiping God. Look forward to this week's reading. It will be a great week, as it always is, spending time in God's Word as we continue our journey through the Word.